So good evening everybody, welcome to this evening's Marketing Events Committee for Good Time Council. We've all got your agendas to start. Number one, receive any apologies for absence.
Apologies from Councillor Clark, Mr. Messon and Rose.
Item number two is to declare any members' interests.
Chair.
Thank you. Item number three is to confirm the sound of minutes of the Marketing and Events Committee held on the 1st of November. So we had sight those minutes on the rapid record. Thank you. All in favour?
Yes.
Item number four is public participation. There's no members of the public present. If you have any questions.
I do have a written question sent in by email. It reads, June 22nd, 2023 marks the 75th anniversary of the arrival of Windrush to the UK. Since many people from Caribbean countries made through their home in the 1950s, will the Town Council be holding any events to celebrate this occasion? Provide you a little bit of information.
Yes, please.
The community officer has been in contact with representing community groups as it happens in the past, and they're considering what activities they would like to progress, and they're waiting, community officers are waiting details from them, and we'll return to committee with proposals and costings when they're available. No.
Can I propose that this is deferred to the next meeting?
You can propose it, right?
Yeah.
We have a community events budget that's available.
We leave it to the next meeting,
Yeah.
then we can hopefully have some information from the community.
Timely question, and then we have.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll propose that.
Have a second. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Item number five is to review the year-to-date financial position of the Marketing and Events Committee.
No financial needs. It's not overspent anyway. There'll be one or two more bills coming against Christmas costs, and that's it really.
Well, does anybody have any questions on the financial position of the committee? No. Moving on then, we have item number six, which is to consider and inform the Marketing and Events Committee business delivery plan for 2023-24.
Yeah, each committee or whole council develops a business delivery plan so that you can have the opportunity to plan out the projects you want to see delivered, on the time scales, you can get the approvals in place to make those happen in advance. And for this committee, that's exactly the same. So that feeds into the full council. In terms of the committee budget, it's in the report, and it shows an indication of what could be done. So the Operation Summer Activity Programme is shown there with the budget set to it. These are all draft, by the way. Please feel free to inform us. Heritage Open Days and International Women's Day have all got budget associated, which brings it with £19,000 allocated. So it's going to develop that out some more. Event match funding, I've put in there, for example, Coronation. However, I'm going to suggest further down that the Jubilee earmark reserve that wasn't spent can be put forward to that. That makes sense. That leaves the event match funding bit for an application from the Community Games Board, but there's nothing defined in there yet. Strategic events, not defined, but it allows a large budget for strategic events, similar to Lumen. And the Christmas programme is pretty much as it was this year, in line with the budget, so that shouldn't serve as any surprise. The infrastructure side of that, by the way, our contract for provision runs out this 2023 So we will be going to market your Christmas lights for future years at that point. So we'll be able to brought to you in January, this time next year, you'll see a load of proposals, what options are available.
What you see with this year.
It's exactly the same, yeah, the contract runs to delivery in Christmas 23, but we'll run the procurement exercise through that period so that any potential contractors can visit the clients and show to see what's currently delivered, what the infrastructure is,
yeah,
and what could be delivered. So that's just so you know, in 12 months' time, I'll present you with a lot of options and work your way through that. Okay. How many projects? Event sequence, income generation, what the definition is. Anywhere I've got no definition, obviously feel free to find. And in the earmark reserves, there's a strategic event, essentially the Monster Trail, to recall, but we're waiting for them to come back and confirm the date for after this deliverable, which and I've suggested Queen's Jubilee in one reserve, which obviously has happened now, was paying in the budget. There is £10,680 there could be in one reserve for coronation.
The only question I had was the earmark reserve for the Christmas lights sinking fund.
Yeah, that just sits there. I haven't put that on there as to be spent unless we need it.
Yep,
So what will happen probably is we'll come round to the procurement exercise January next year, and we'll find that some of the infrastructure is outdated, needs refurbishing, replacing, and so that sinking fund can be used for that, and the revenue fund can be used for the contract. Make sense?
Yeah, that's right. Do you know how much is in the sinking fund?
I think it's about £30,000 or something.
Any members got any questions about the delivery plan?
This is the underspend on the Jubilee is that something that's missing because we just very good at spending.
Yeah, just it wasn't as expensive as expected. So the Queen's Park went very well, and the bits that went on around the town went very well. It just wasn't as expensive as expected. Good result. Didn't happen.
Just wondering whether there's any lessons to be drawn from that these times of increased expenses. Is there anything that happened we did or that happened?
Well, it was community led, long and short of it. So we relied very heavily on the hard work of various community groups and volunteers in that delivery aspect, which puts down a huge amount of the cost. But that was always the plan. That's it. That it would have very well. Which allows for, without touching the revenue budgets, access to make some coronation minded.
I mean, I think that's really interesting because when you engage members of the community, you have a win and people engaged. So I'd like to see more of that.
Any members got any other questions?
No, just a comment or observation on the strategic event. So we have potentially over £100,000 for this analysis.
This is exactly what the discussion should be. If you're the committee to direct this, if what you want to see out of that budget there, which is I've come to you with suggestions, not very many, but some, it's open to you as elected members to direct the service. So if you want to see some sort of music festival, then that's for a discussion and a development. And this is your personal thing. Get to look at it again before it goes to council. So I've never run a music festival, so I couldn't say what it would cost, but they're not cheap. But equally, if that's what you want to see, you might want to allocate some budget to that and see what we can do.
If you want to get the big names, it's going to cost a fortune. But there are so many tribute bands that you could have a really good music festival by using tribute bands. I've seen, I mean, we haven't got it anymore. Limelight, I don't know if anybody, I went to Limelight quite a few times. And I thought it was fantastic. And I was very, very sad when it closed. Because I could go and see some of my favourite groups without paying hundreds of pounds to go and see them.
Well, there used to be a I don't know if it's still on, in Liverpool, a tribute act music day.
Yeah.
With, stages at City, You could look and go, or should we go and see Michael Jackson or Bon Jovi or
Yeah.
Rolling Stones? So,
Maybe that is something that we could put on the agenda in the future.
If you want an agenda, put it on as soon as you can, because you think it's take a lot.
Yeah, happy to do it. I've got Councillor White first.
I'm sorry, so just I need to back up. Process. I happened to see the entry. It was amazing good, and I was booked 48 hours notice. But looking what he does as well, the big tours, big gigs, but something like that. My subject that is venue market is really good. Sound is so bad.
It'd be interesting to see if we are discussing things like music events for next year. And obviously we'll have the License Square bill. Lost assets like Park. Yeah, I think we've got to ask it to be brought for discussion in the meeting and go more in-depth discussion.
I think, well, so I was going to ask this, and I'm all in favour of music event. In language, I'll look how close to stay, but we never want to get first. Never go to East, we know exactly where they're seats. We're in a fortunate position. I mean, I was in the cat radio station, students this afternoon, on a totally personal thing, but nothing to do with council or anything. The people in there, because I remember doing things in Mark Hall, we did it in the NHS, you know, these people. So what I'm suggesting is get in touch with these people because these people are willing to help. And of course, they have all the contacts, they know all the groups and what have you. Because Gary and Mark Hall, of course, also is podcast, you know. So you have a tremendous amount of talent on the other team. I think it's just asking the right people. And the venue, of course, is right. Famous Council Line, Mark Hall, acoustics is not the best. Mark Square, sorry, the landscape square, I think could be totally important. Queen's Park is excellent for them. People, and I've done things down there. And quite honestly, around here, the amount of talent we have, not just this, I'm talking about necessarily the crew, but we were in Manchester, Liverpool, any amount that have said, why might they come back? They will give their right arm for a big key, a really big one. You could do it. Otherwise, I have no idea. But having said that, it depends on what you do it for. The ones I did with Kathleen was for the chest. People queue up, yeah, we're outside, I'll move to. You know, there's ways and means, that's what I'm saying. You don't necessarily, yes, it will be a cost, very quick. You can reduce the cost, that's not what we do.
If, I don't know, but if a tribute band charged £1,000, we could get 7 bands in for the same cost as we could get a Spark Drums. And I'll tell you what, £1,000, I don't think that's excessive for a tribute band. I wouldn't be surprised if we could get one cheaper than that. And I'm talking about good ones. But,
Please remember that most events, what you see is about 50% cost. And then behind the scenes is about 50% cost. So all the wiring, staging, the lighting, security, toilets, the bins, barriers, all that sort of thing. So whatever budget you set it, about 50% of what people see. 50%.
Because of what you're doing.
On all the bits that need to make it happen.
yeah, so we could get 3.5 weeks.
So I'm just throwing that to mix. So if it's all right, members, based on what you tell me, they're all the longer options. On strategic event, if I refine that and put in, I'll try and work out some sort of idea of what it could and it sounds like a tribute festival, is
Yeah.
what you're talking about, tribute night, what you call it. And I'll do a little bit of research, and maybe we'll sort of Cabaret with, see if they're in site councils, and then the next reading this, present the proposed budget for that, and see how you feel about that. Process.
What sort of time is it?
I'm not, you just called me this idea, so I am.
So I'm just thinking that the previous example that we watched, which was June,
22nd June, yeah.
was it June? You might feel two birds of one stone, because June's a good time to have an outdoor, because it's very outdoor, it's got June,
Fourth of
July.
July is also approved.
Went on Forces
Ah.
Day. That rings a bell like June,
It's
July.
around.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the one thing we can't do is clash with armed forces.
Yeah.
But
I can look into those dates, though.
Yeah, so crew day would be the best one, version that avoid articles.
I think you've got a good idea there, but like a crew, I think crew year would be an ideal. Because there's nothing happens in crew on July the 4th, crew year. And July the 4th is July the 4th.
Yeah.
There's no other event on the annual on July the 4th.
there's a little thing that goes on over the pond, isn't there? Not sure what it is.
Well, I mean, we're twinned with the town over there, we can make as much of that as that as one.
Armed Forces Day is the 24th of June.
Right, July the 4th is actually a Tuesday. So
I'll come up with some options on the best side.
Oh, yeah, you've got one.
And another idea, while we're talking about music, is we were talking in a Rotary Club about having a night where we invite local talent. There was a girl sung in Starbucks when it opened, and she was just an acoustic guitar and a singer, and she was brilliant, in my opinion. She made it sound good. I don't know if anybody else saw her, but I was amazed that, and she come from Crewe somewhere, but there was so much going on that obviously I've got a child, I can't remember what her name is, but I'm sure we could find out. And anyway, the Rotary Club were toying with the idea of having Hopes and Beams, having a night and come along. But something else that we could think about.
sorry.
Yeah.
Are we thinking of doing lots of small different kinds of things, or are we thinking one big thing? With limited budgets. I just think that that's the consideration, not for answering that.
For this specific event,
Yeah,
what
well, and well, as a general principle as well.
what I would suggest is that we ask suppliers to just bring forward some options, that is, but just, as I say, without having any detail, we can't really discuss what we're thinking. It may not be achievable to run one big event. It may not be achievable to run several small events. But I think it's definitely something that needs quite an in-depth discussion. If we are talking about launching a completely new event of some sort, not just as is it a one-off thing, is it something you want to see year on year, is it financial, there's going to be a lot of discussion that's needed around what the basically trying to create a legacy of the event stuff. So there's a lot more detail needed before we have that sort of discussion.
One suggestion I'd like to do is a small, July the 4th, I think, is something you could use in that entry. That's on Tuesday. You could make it in night time. We're talking about July, it's like nights. The 4th, fingers crossed, you get decent weather. And I'm thinking mainly of Lyceum Square, not necessarily Queen's Park, but I'm thinking of Lyceum Square. And to the best of my knowledge, there's not a lot happens on the 4th of July. It's not, I mean, like all forces, days, you say, we know what it is. I mean, I should know what the football is, but I mean, I'm not even sure the football, well, a Tuesday night wouldn't be a proper football even.
Not in June.
Not that year.
Not in July.
No, I suppose the only thing we have for also consider is, if we're discussing Lighting Square, is utilizing theatre as well.
Just looking at what they've got.
Or the football ground?
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be empty. Sorry, you know football, I mean, not in July. Even the season being open would be finished by July.
yeah, everything. The football club is a private venue, tend to run their own events as opposed to other people. You know, that's, but yeah, if we can kind of look at options and stuff. It's one of these things, when we're talking about the grand scale, it could be a massive event in Queen's Park, and only Queen's Park. We could have small things at each pocket shops, it could be something in town centre at different locations, it could be something pub shows like doing on Twitch. It could be actually have small acoustic acts in Hopes and Beans and then big acts in Queen's Park. There's all sorts of things that we discussed, I think, until we know what roughly is available for budgets that work. There's not much point having that discussion. I think with ideas, by all means, we've got to bring them to the next meeting and just see if that's feasible. Yeah. So, does anybody else have any other questions on the business delivery plan? In which case, is there anything that we need to?
Well, I think you're formally accepting as a principle, obviously with a few amendments, amendment that Jubilee Mark Reserve comes coronation in Mark Reserve. Okay with that, that's been discussed, and that it's clear we want to press forward with a music event. Sometime in the summer seems to be the main principal aim. Could be large, but lots of small scale, and may well be focused on tributes and or local acts.
I think we should say the feasibility of putting one on. Not
Feasibility is
definitely.
a very, very fair word.
As much as I like it, if it's going to cost us too much, then
I know that's like.
no, I know you can't. But
I think that obviously it's with we'll bring on according to discussion for moving in a minute, but obviously we will lose another event. It's worth just kind of keeping all options on the table until we've got that feasibility assessment. Yeah, so the next item on the agenda is item number 7, which is to consider the Lumen Lights event. There's no written report as such as the PowerPoint presentation. Separate.
Okay, I've shared with you some of the art installations that can be available to be delivered. The overall budget for delivery is £50,000. As I said earlier, about 50% of that goes on the cost of staging the event, so infrastructure costs realistically. So on that basis, there's a selection of things there. Locations should include consideration of Memorial Square, the concourse, Christchurch Gardens, Christchurch, and anywhere else in the town centre. Bear in mind that Lyceum Square is going to be worked on, so that's out of the question for a period of time, so approximately May. Based on the availability of these artworks and their associated costs, an example range of them would include Nova, which is a large star in Christchurch Courtyard, Air Giants on Municipal Square, which is interactive, inflatable light art. Spark Drummers, performing somewhere like Courts Concourse, and the duet walkabouts called Lumens, which will be able to animate the sites and link between them. This is over 2 nights with the plan, 17th and 18th of February, the start of half term. Those items were brought forward. It will be around £24,500 plus the cost of infrastructure behind it, with an estimate of 50% spread. So that would be your budget. Give or take.
Councillor White.
Given our previous discussion about having things in the summer and the potential opening of the Lyceum Square, I think it'd be nice to say something like this for later. And with this day and age, costs are rising astronomically. this is expensive, but by the time it comes to it, it might be even more expensive. Or more spend this kind of money.
Yeah, I agree with those comments. I think the cost that we've had, given to us is significantly higher than, what we were expecting. I don't think that given these costs, will be delivering value for money, that, Councillor Edwards.
Yes, I can support. I think if we sadly postpone or cancel this year, we can fund a bigger, better event the following year.
Anybody else have any other comments they wish to?
I can't see me standing in front of somebody from Crewe and saying, yeah, I think that was good value for money, especially for the spark guns, as good as they are. With the amount of problems people in Crewe have got at the moment, financially, not only people at Crewe, everywhere, but I'm only worried about the people at Crewe. I just can't envision me being able to turn around and say, yeah, I think that was a good deal. And so, I'm voting against it, but is there anything else we could get that isn't costing that sort of money? I mean, £5,600 for a start. I mean, we've all got a photo of it and it looks absolutely fantastic. But I'm sure we can spend that money on something far more better. I don't know, as I say, I'm at a loss to, I just can't see myself agreeing to pay that sort of money out. Sorry.
Does anybody else have any comments?
I agree with what's been said. I think it's both a lot of money. Third, I think it's a good idea because we just that's it. I think we should just simply maybe person be.
Sorry, you said 7, 8 weeks? February. What's that? 5 weeks? 5 weeks? Not enough time really to sort anything else out, is there?
Not for that idea.
I think given the discussion we've had, the feeling clearly is that we should not go ahead with the options that we made available to us, instead of using budget available to enhance some other events or things next year. Yeah, when there's options brought to the table for us. Reason being that when we set these budgets 12 months ago, costs were much lower and we're not going to be able to deliver value for money event with the budget that's available. I'd like to propose that. Yeah, and all those in favour? Thank you very much. Item number 8 is the Without Walls network. This is something that was brought to the last committee meeting and some members had further questions on. Some more information in your agenda packs. Quite lengthy.
Principal answer, principal answer, as far as I understand it, is that for a £5,000 membership, you get access to the art groups listed within. But there's still costs to hiring those art groups.
It's effectively a membership scheme, as it was described at the last meeting, whereby if we were to subscribe to this, that was touring group, we don't receive discounts on any bookings that we receive, or that we make rather, for varying acts. There was an upfront cost, but then we receive discounts moving forwards.
Do we know how much these cost?
I don't know.
No?
We can ask more information brought up.
I don't know how much more it is.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to know how much we're going to have to pay for anything. Yes.
perhaps it's in abeyance until such point as we need to hire some of things. And we consider joining that and certainly make the savings at that point.
I would love to, to take this back away and have a read at home. And maybe circle some acts of interest.
Mark the Argos catalogue, if you need to see. Yeah, that's the one.
And going back to a point ages ago about using community groups and volunteers. There's a lot of groups and groups that do this kind of thing. Albeit on an amateur basis, which is very popular. And when I see it, it has a local dance about the schools are always sold out, sometimes episodes as well. So we know there's a draw of local events, and those groups really good to support them as well. So when we ever have these things, we need to let them break with some professionals and we won't spend a lot of money on outside groups. We do need outside groups because that's the catalyst for creativity. Yeah. Make on that.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Motion that I was going to suggest is that we don't move ahead with the without walls network membership at this time. We do continue to have a look at similar opportunities in the future, and where there's value for money, we consider those on a case by case basis.
I'll second that.
All those in favour? Item number 9 is to talk about bringing the Knife Angel to Crewe.
Well, obviously, in principle, agreed this is a good thing for town. You need more idea of costs and what would be involved. The Knife Angel, it's also heavily supported by the police. They're putting in just short of £20,000 of road skep funding into this, as well as proceeds of crime, £5,500. And working in partnership with them, it will be up to Crewe Town Council to provide £3,000 for that committee, which is already approved, but also £15,000 from this committee from the government funding budget. The principle it will be a month-long residency of that statute with broad-reaching engagement with various parts of the community, youth, children, low levels of schools, as well as community at risk. It would broaden that scope to see what areas we want to engage, and would be a fairly significant addition to the town centre for that month. It's a national monument, and there's a picture on one screen over there. Yeah.
It is a really impressive.
The police are already progressing because they're very, very supportive of this principle. So, whilst the principle has been considered and supported by the committee, we now have to move to the board to say spend towards it.
So can you say where it would be?
Its location isn't finalised yet. The locations being considered are Lyceum Square, which is unlikely due to the new pavement. We don't know what the loading issues will be on that. Memorial Square, that paving has got the correct loading, although that negotiation hasn't actually reached yet. And Christchurch Courtyard, which is a secure and nice setting, which is not as visible as Memorial Square. So the visible preference would be Memorial Square, the operational preference might well be Christchurch.
I can see advantages of both.
Yeah.
There's a couple of comments that I had to make, which was Dennis is far more quick on this than me. On the face of it, I wasn't sure that it was appropriate for the Knife Angel to be a second monument on Memorial Square. I think that warrants a further discussion with parties around that, to ensure there's no upset cause. It's a good cause. I don't know if that has any impact. I think it's a fantastic monument.
From memory, when we discussed it last time, the square of churches, that's the point. From a security point of view, it's not anything else.
Yeah, it is. The church, Christchurch is the most sensible place to put it. However, I think the beauty of this thing is it is so controversial, that really it's hard. And yeah, there would be really, there'd be very strong objections to having it on the main square, but that would be a very powerful place to have it. Because they're both mourning the dead, so they're both doing the same job. And facing each other on that square would be a bold, courageous move, as they say.
Well, you, I'm saying the court. The court of the court.
It's unlikely to be able to go on there because of loading. It's about 7 tons in one.
I know, some big heavy.
So it's unlikely to be able to be delivered to that spot.
I think you get a lot of kickback from the British Legion. If you put it on the Memorial Square. I agree with what Ben says. It's most probably is the most perfect place for it.
I'm telling you now that the local policing unit, that's their preferred location. And they're putting in a senior amount of money, that's what money.
On the walls.
Their preference is Memorial Square because it's visibility.
My preference would be for somewhere that is visible. I don't think Christchurch is at the courtyard, so it's you have to know that it's there. But I think personally, if there was, if the memorial was not on Memorial Square, I think that would be the perfect location geographically because of the footfall and plastic vehicles and things. It's just being aware of the sensitivity of that space and to that.
Don't forget, the memorial has only been there for about 10 years. It's a new addition. I'm just thinking about group. Would there be space on the pavement just out on the steps of the memorial building? So it wouldn't be on the square itself. It would be.
That's going to be on the side.
Yeah,
You mean the municipal building?
yeah, in front of the.
Yeah, but because of, when I've seen it displayed elsewhere, because it's strong security,
What about the other square? Marks and Spencer?
Market Square.
Market Square.
There's a void under that. It's unknown.
That was the problem with the memorial in the first place, that's how we moved it.
We moved the memorial in the first place because it was sinking.
Well, that's the reason.
There's a giant reservoir.
Because of the water that was used in the rubbish from McDonald's that used to go in there.
And this is heavier, I think, because it's a hollow bronze, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
The Memorial Square is a hard
It is.
place to use.
The other question that I have is, has there been any confirmation since this was published at all? The original date that was being discussed was March this year, and it was April.
Those days have now gone.
Yeah.
So it might be available in May, and we're trying to get clarity out of the providers of the statute, but as you haven't received any, ideally that would fit well with the scheduling, but the dates for August and December are also available. Obviously, August might be a preference just for the weather as well.
Yeah.
And school holidays, but getting clear responses hasn't been easy yet.
I suppose that again, just some considerations on timing of that, around the sort of engagement work that we can do. If it was August and schools would be closed, which is good for potentially getting more people downdoors, not in terms of schools wanting to arrange trips to visit or doing engagement session. And then just the not sure whether I've read the police have funded some performances in April. Which I don't know whether that date is movable at all.
Unfortunately, that's they made them understand that it was booked.
Yeah, in which case May would probably then make the most sense if that's available, because then it's following up on that work. Post time.
To move forward, we're gonna, I think we should make our minds up now. It's the way to go. So,
It's not cut and dry. If we decide here, we don't have control of those spaces.
It's not
our land.
no, what I mean is, we need to come up with place to ask them to have.
But like a preference list, yeah,
Yeah.
priorities. That's absolutely fine. I think the first thing, if you still approve of this, is to approve the funding for it. And then to provide your priorities of what you feel would be ideal to achieve A, B, C, D, so position A, and month B, or whatever you think.
Financially, so I think you said earlier, but how much have we got?
And we've got,
Yeah. Roughly, how many?
You've got this 15,000 from our committee and 3,000 from ONI.
Yeah, I know that. How much have we got in our funds? M&E funds.
what? What should we guess? It's £29,000 in that budget line. They're asking for 15,000 budget.
Right.
I think with the money, this is not a problem. I think let's keep putting the abilities set. Personally, after the events, I think it's personally, I think it's a no-brainer. We should go to one way. The people who that more was there for, that was, 27 years ago. Things have moved on. Times have moved on. I mean, the whole idea of this Nike Angel is appropriate to today.
It's an anti-violence monument, which it's in similar fitting, which I understand. And my arguments in terms of why we should be looking at that as a location is that other events are hosted. If this was something that was unbecoming the space in some way, then of course we might be having a different conversation. But there are monuments both quite aligned in their purpose. Personally, I think that whilst it may upset a few people, a lot of people will understand the reasons why we chose that space and would agree with us for the reasons why.
Well, I think the people who might raise objections, I mean, they can be asked to raise their objections in a formal way. We can explain in a formal reply. We're not looking at it, the fact this memorial already there, we're looking at the fact this is an important memorial, current day memorial, for current day events.
Would it be possible to write to the main ones who might?
It's entirely possible to consult and engage, yes.
Yeah. Then can I suggest or propose that we do what Pete just says, with the ones who, I mean, I'm talking about obviously the British Legion, the RNA, I don't know of any other military establishments in this area. I'm sure there are, but if we ask them their opinion before we go ahead and do anything, then at least we can say, well, we asked you. But yes, right.
Consult and engage with veteran military organisations.
What I would suggest is that we move on and just discuss very briefly a list of preferences for location and timing, just so we go back to we are running funders, so this is a lot of contact with what the police.
Oh, right, that's exactly, I think the police were.
Oh, we are, it's the police, aren't
The police
The
are.
police are,
Yeah. So we can make recommendations, we don't necessarily have the right to say everything.
you pay the money, you make choices, so it's there.
Well, I think it's a very positive message. I don't think it's going to be confrontational. I try to make sure it's not just you understand it's not just a Crewe Town Council project. We're very much a partnership with the local policing unit. And actually then put a bit more money.
Yeah.
Councillor
Yeah, I agree with you, Councillor Cosby, about May sounds good. If there are events already going to take place in April, May is still school time. Schools can then arrange trips, and they will need to know soon to arrange trips. May sounds best.
the way they're going around the table, it sounds like Memorial Square is our preference and recommendation. Subject, of course, to consultation with the events. Is everybody with that?
Yeah.
All those in favour? Item 10 is the Crewe Town Council event strategy.
We, as a committee, have already committed to something, an event strategy quite understandably, and what I've drafted up here very rapidly, is just seeking your guidance and direction on what field and aims you want out of discussion. For example, tonight we discussed live music events or events. That's something that we feature in it. Things like feature markets, we plan on progressing forward. Is that something you want to see more of the light of the town centre? And so the conclusions are written there for 12, so we just said the final order is favorable. Hopefully provide a structure for future delivery and operational sustainability as well as direction for budgeting. And it's asking you to provide as much direction as possible to ensure the strategy reflects the expectations of the council. So what sort of events is it you want to see? That's what I'm asking today. When drafted, we'll have a consultation period of 28 days, prior to consideration of option, and the option strategy should be set for this business meeting with the council for elections in 2023. So what kind of schedule and expectation you'll have the event strategy ready for the new administration. So please, I'm not asking you for your defeated list now, but you've got your ideas. I get the sense, unless you've been correct me if I'm right music. What other events you expect to see listed in such a thing?
Councillor Evans?
Well, me and my family this week have been considering going on holiday, and having lived in certain countries, such as the Czech Republic, we were looking at Prague, for instance, but I wanted to match our visit to something, an event, festival, some special occasion. And one of them is for instance, a short film and animation festival, which I attended when I lived there. It was fantastic. And that was what we're looking for, a holiday to somewhere we can take our daughter for something else as well, something happening at that time, synchronizing that with it. So something definitely free to access, I would support as suggested, but also obviously family orientated.
Yeah, the thing that I was going to suggest was, again, the live meeting discuss things that reflect our heritage. I think that although we recently moved away from things like attraction, I think that those events where possible, we can still move back into really issue the town. And we are known for as Crewe people relate to, Crewe works and such, where possible, just back to that. And the other thing I'm particularly keen to see is events that bring independent businesses as well. So we have fantastic things like the market, more things around things like we've had some real ale festivals that have gone down well. Actually, we've got a number of independent breweries and bottle shops in Crewe, and if we can support those guys to create some sort of event that links them all together, we want to try and keep the local economy and keep as much money as we've got in Crewe local, and so if we support independent businesses, that whole thing around when you support independent businesses, you're paying for somebody's son's football boots, and it's not going into direct share. The other comment I'd like to make is just around, I do think that we really need to push the free to access events. If these events are being funded from a free set that people are paying for, I don't think they're right, especially in cost of living crisis, and with Crewe's economy and household incomes as they are, they're trying to charge tickets. What I think is it will make it not a viable option for a lot of people in Crewe instead of doing events effectively part of people who can't afford tickets, but then creates a two-other system around really not keep that happen with Crewe. Have plenty of the places that people, if they want to pay for additional events, pay for tickets, it's about the license, relics and such. So I'd like to keep everything as free as is possible. Has anybody else got any comments they'd like to make?
I just repeat my own thing, I can keep it through and use these skills we've got. We've got so many gymnastics, and dance and singing groups. Yeah. But you could really do the kind bit of extra fund.
Yeah.
And others is, so to use them as much as we can. And the outdoor space. Bringing people,
The only other comment I would make is how much do we want to focus on town centre events? How much of an emphasis do we want to put on Queen's Park as an event space? And how much do we want to see local leadership events in communities? We've got obviously a lot of investment into pocket parks and communities, and we do have shared spaces in sort of in neighbourhoods. Do we want to see some small events, whether they're community led by the fantastic charities have got pushing on the YMCA, or do we want to see more, do we want to see smaller but more events out in the community, or do we want to see more strategic events in the town centre, for example?
I would support some type of rotation system. If we can engage with community groups and local talent, and arrange some type of tour of the town, so that, you know, not everyone lives near Queen's Park. It's on one side of the town. If you live on the other side, perhaps it's difficult to travel to.
And we are cruise town. I'd like to see as much as possible in the town. Queen's Park's a fantastic place. I haven't got a problem with it. But I would rather everyone can get into the town centre quite easily. Not everyone can get to Queen's Park. I would like to see as much as possible take place in the town. Memorial Square, the Market Square, the other places where we can put people, some of the acts, whatever you want to call it. There are other places around the town that we could use. And I think that would encourage people to come in the town, especially if it's free.
I think generally that's behind everything that we do as well. Everything that is council is sort of buying for the community, so it's looking at those barriers that we can face. So how can we support upcoming artists? How can we make things accessible to everybody? How can we make sure that it's reflected what they'd like to see? Any council is kind of trying to do that sort of work, but actually we don't want to pay substantial sums of money for somebody to come in and do it. One-off events, actually we're looking to develop long-term work to promote the arts and culture and career. And again, building things with things like the cultural forum, networks like that going forward. So there's that kind of co-production with governments, community and charities and groups.
Also, engagement with schools. Having worked in schools as a teacher, for instance, you could email each school and crew, and every school starts the school day with form time, and the form teacher could print out a small slip of paper with a survey on what the children, what the students would like to see. And I think that logistics-wise wouldn't be a great challenge.
I think it's a big balance between everything that the community like is what we're for, as an overall ethos.
I think you're going to have a, yeah, use the phrase, I think you're going to have a two-tier system. The one that's free, available to everyone, and the music event, whether you get decent acts, that's going to have a cost. And with a two-tier event, one's free and one's you have to pay for because of what you got. The links with the schools, we already have very good links with the schools. The meeting I was Saturday with that, I was there. She was just explaining this afternoon. I was going to pledge this afternoon. Leanne was just explaining we have a roadmap of what's going on. And they were quite both impressed. The fact that we are the council doing the pocket parks and we can ask the kids what they want in the park. That is just to me, that's just a given. It's no good people like us saying, oh, we're gonna have to have a this or that.
I'd love to see your recommendations on slides.
Well, they could. But then the other thing that we've done, and it's now set, because we've done it twice. On Armistice Day, I remember something on Armistice Day, the children twice now have been in the square. Now we've gone into the schools, then you provide, you personally, but the British teams have provided the schools with lots of information about what it's all about. So I think we have got connections there, we just have to build on them.
That worked very well in the last 2 years, and I think it's going to be something that's carrying on, because the kids loved it. From the feedback we got was absolutely fantastic, because the kids thought it was their day, because all the kids were there on the arms,
Yeah.
and the adults were there on the Remembrance Day. So it worked out for everyone. Plus, of course, the Remembrance Day was a lot quicker, which made a lot of people happy.
Yeah, which was the original idea.
Yeah.
So, just for information really, so we've got these schools debate penciled in to the 29th of March. Full class in the 18 schools. Well, then we'll take up that fits that. Pocket Parks thing, also that's been, I was in Nelson today with the school council about what they wanted in their local environment because of this survey about the New Holland project in the Southwest Crew. And that is really, really clever ideas that normally highways engineers don't think about. So it's a two-way thing because A, we do get generally good ideas from children and they know that they're being listened to. And it all feeds into that, again, using local skill set. And sometimes actually setting it.
I was reading something again, I can't remember exactly what the term was, but it's rather like an unqualified consultant in these sorts of meetings. Somebody who's not restricted by the limitations of kind of the scope, by budgets and by ideas, by training, but can just look at things, ask the questions that might seem daft, but might be done actually, and then come up with these innovative things because they've not been kind of trained to think in a certain way.
That's right.
I think having kids on board.
Oh, it's the best resource we have. Best resource any town has. But this one in particular, we already stopped. I mean, the other thing that came this afternoon, this meeting was the heritage trail. Plenty of people were asking, what does the heritage trail do? Do we have film? Do we have? And it's a case of, I'll go back, and we'll get people to and say exactly what it has in mind or what you come up with.
That's me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, your name was mentioned,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah.
Ben White.
So we have.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, so that's another sense of that's utterly free, just me going for walks and pace around. Clearly not an expert on that. It's a conversation about looking at things and getting kids to observe things and feel that they're part of the town. And I'm hoping that that will get taken up. But best of all, every time it's been run, we've had a local person join us who knows much more than me, who've got insight. So like the chair of the Dorford Residents Association, we had a great talk about what life was like there 100 years ago. And it doesn't cost anything, but everybody gets something out of it. So yeah, so more of that.
Is that Kevin?
Somebody approached me in the brew cafe. They know who I am, and they turned around and said, "Councillor." I said, "Why?" I don't know which one. They said, "He took us for a walk around the town." Oh, and I said, "Yeah, did you get lost?" It was fantastic. I learned things I didn't know about.
Bit louder than my phone.
No, I don't want to say to and they were more than pleased.
Great.
They said, "Are we doing it again?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm sure we will be." I said, "It seems to be a success."
Yeah.
I said, "But I'll bring it up when I can."
If any of us can do that, it's not.
I think particularly with things like heritage laws, whether we agree with the building or not, there's going to be the new archives. And I think again, it's just keeping on our toes, I suppose, and seeing we're discussing a strategy here, and actually what we talk about is keeping it over as a living document. And this isn't something to just be bound by. as you come in, or kind of shift the focus ever so slightly, because we'll want to have a fantastic new asset that can be used to promote heritage events. It's kind of different things we can kind of different. Just that discussion you can leave off.
Let's start with you. Not fraction.
It's fantastic. The other thing left then is the social media and communications engagement. Suzanne has handsets.
Just there to be noted.
Does anybody have any particular comments or questions around social media statistics? In which case, again, just thank the officers for their work on social media. All the pages they continue to grow, and there's been some really good videos produced for the Operation Summit and sites. It's nice to see that we're taking the opportunities. The other thing left is to the close date of the next meeting, which is Monday the 13th of March at 6 PM. Thank you all for attending.